Good evening. Happy Monday. September 13th. It's 8 o'clock here in Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday, or you have enjoyed your Monday.
Let's get into it.
Yes. Let's get the team in here. Let's get the home team in here. Two, what's going on?
You too. What's popping?
Yeah.
No days off.
No. We back at it. We're back at it, man. Shout out to everybody that has started. I know New York City started their school year. Shout out to all the educators out there. Shout out to the home team at Dykeman. Shout out to y'all. We was outside yesterday. Shout out to everybody that pulled up.
Shout out to the good brother Kenny Stevens. Shout out to Miss Basketball. Shout out to EEP Law. And yeah, all of the good folks at Dykeman, everybody that came out for the back to school drive. All of the parents, all of the kids. Best of luck. Much success in this year's start of school.
Mm-hmm.
I think today was the first day of school in New York City.
Yeah, New York City.
So
damn, y'all start late.
Man.
Yeah.
Everybody like Atlanta, they start like August 1st.
Yeah, we started in Texas. We started early. Xana been in school for like 4 weeks already.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. Go to school during the summertime. It's like that's kind of crazy. But yeah, best of wishes to everybody. And anytime we get a chance to do anything with the good folks at Dykeman, it's all love. So shout out to all of the gentlemen and ladies out there. And yeah, it was dope.
Yeah. That was dope, man. Giving out school supplies. We had our kids out there helping out. The team was out there. And big shout out, big shout out to our boys from Philly, Jalil, 13th and Create, man. It is New York Fashion Week. And so, we stepped outside a little bit.
I was making some moves out there.
Yeah, we put some garments on. You know what I'm saying?
Those Givenchy, something. I see you.
I mean, we only dress what we blessed with. That's all we do. And shout out to our boy Sonny, 914 Mount Vernon. What's going on? We have pulled up to Misa Hilton's fashion conversation on Saturday night. So that was an eventful situation. She is an icon in the fashion world and an icon from where we from. Here in Westchester. She's from Mount Vernon's own. So
is she from out there?
Yeah, Mount Vernon, man. So
wow. Okay.
Shout out to her. That was incredible. Mary J stepped in. It was dope.
Yeah.
Icons in podcasting, investing, fashion world. I see what y'all doing. Well played.
Yeah. I know some people were wondering where we're going to be at the event tonight, the Met Gala. I said, look, we got something to do on Monday nights, so we got to put it on hold for this year.
Next year, though. We recorded.
Priorities.
We're reporting live from the Met Gala next year.
You got to have your priorities.
We're here with y'all. Come on now. Why would we be there?
It's all about priorities for sure. Yes, good people. I got a couple of announcements. First and foremost, shout out to the city of Detroit. So we're gonna be headed out there next.
Tell them now?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell them.
We might as well tell them. Come on.
Just go ahead. Just write everything down. Go ahead.
Yeah, now I'm gonna tell them. So we having a networking event, networking party, how we like to say, and that's gonna be a super dope vibe. So that's gonna be at Sloppy Crab. And we'll have a flyer probably tomorrow. But
breaking news alert.
Yeah, breaking news alert. That's at Sloppy Crab, and that is the 24th, 6 o'clock on the 24th. Come hang out with us. This is our first time coming to Detroit to do something. A lot of people have been asking us to come to the D for a long time. So shout out to my boy Ken.
Yeah,
shout out to my boy Chill.
Mm-hmm.
They invited us out there, and also that weekend is definitely the BMF release weekend. So I believe that they're gonna have a release situation on Sunday. So yeah, man, you're gonna see us in the city, man. So show some love. Come out to the networking event on Friday, and let us know where to eat. Let us know what's going on. Detroit's a good city, man. I was there a few months ago. It was my first time ever going there, and really enjoyed myself. I know Troy enjoyed himself.
Yeah.
So I'm happy. I'm actually happy that I'm going back before it gets cold. So
there will be no going back when it gets cold.
Shout out to the D. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna release more information about the networking event, but I wanted to let Market Mondays know first before we drop the flyer. So make sure you pull up on us. Very important.
You gonna stop there?
Family slide through.
Wait. Hold on. Yeah, I want to see. You gonna keep going?
No, you might as well put on the show. I'm gonna hype you up. Who gonna be the Medici family?
I want them to because they've been asking for it for 2 years now.
What for? What?
Where we going after that?
Well, first, you want? I don't know if Ian wants to let people know where he's going to be.
Okay.
No, no, that was a good Euro step. I see you.
Yeah,
drop the news, brother.
Shout out to Ian.
Not only will we be in Detroit, but the good brother Ian Dunlap will be in Detroit also. So, Red Panda Nation, come out. Earners come out.
Yep.
You know, anytime that we get together, it's always a magical moment. So we're gonna be with the good brother Ian all weekend, hanging out in Detroit.
What up, though?
Is there like a game going on or something like that?
The Tigers probably yeah. Everything else
no football.
I gotta see. Let's see if they home. Yeah, let's see. We'll check that out.
Let's look into that.
Yeah, if y'all got access to
maybe we can
catch a Lions
game. See if who they playing.
They had a crazy comeback yesterday.
But yeah, we might even sneak our way into Canada. Who knows? Are we allowed to go to Canada?
I thought you said we were.
Did they gave us the pass?
Put it in the border. I think they might have opened the border. We might want to do that on Saturday. Let's go to Canada.
I got the certified lover boy T-shirt, so that's like a easy pass, right?
I just thought about that. No, it's right. It's right across the water.
Literally, we saw it. We're like, that's a casino right.
We got to look into this situation. Toronto, Canada for Saturday night.
Ooh. Ooh.
This just got 10 times more interesting.
Hello.
Line Bling Part 2.
Hello.
Yeah. So pop out on us. We'll save that second part to the next.
Yeah, I thought you was going there. I'm like,
you should though, but you gonna wait to the end? When Big had victory, he didn't wait to drop it.
Let's see.
You gotta leave. You gotta leave something.
Turn my headphones up.
No, we're gonna see them next Monday. So we got another chance to talk.
And then also, shout out to my boy Bobby Wagner, who had a great game yesterday. It's ironic. So episode 151 of Earn Your Leisure drops tomorrow with Bobby Wagner, who is definitely one of the best inside linebackers of all time. Mm-hmm. First ballot Hall of Famer.
Sure.
His resume reads but he's a very humble guy and he's a very smart guy. So he's his own agent, negotiated a $54 million contract for himself, which actually made him the highest inside linebacker in NFL history
at the
time. Yeah. And he's really dope, really into investing, really into real estate, business, all of that. So the conversation that we had with him was really, really dope because the NFL is the highest grossing sports league in the world. But a lot of times people don't understand the dynamics of it. So he explained everything from being an agent, how to negotiate a contract, the bonuses that players get, all of the ins and outs of being a player, dealing with management, dealing with ownership.
Mm-hmm.
So
and his investment strategies too.
Yeah, investment strategies as well. So it's a super, super, super dope conversation. We break down the sports world, the NFL world, and thought it was a perfect time to drop it with the release, with the start of the NFL season. So
you want to know how important this is to him? I'm like, this is crazy, Ian. They played the Indianapolis Colts. They had a 1:00 game. The game finished about probably like 3:50. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they won, right?
Yeah.
At 6:00, I got a text, bro. Can you just send me the audio? I just want to hear it. I'm like, Bobby. He's like, he said, I'm gonna listen to it on the plane ride, bro. I just got to hear it. And so I sent it to him, and he hit me back today, like, yo, I love it. So it's gonna be a dope one, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Bobby Wagner. So that comes out tomorrow, and Wednesday we have EYL University.
Yeah. To be determined at the moment. I think it might be us. I think
it's Ash Cash this.
Oh, it's Ash Cash?
Janet from the sky.
From the skybox. Ash. We next week, right, Janet?
Queen.
Yeah, you guys are next week.
Oh, that's Ash Cash. I didn't even know that. Cash.
Shout out to our bro.
He's teaching on how to create wealth with like writing books. So
that's legendary. Ash Cash is teaching a book writing class. That's legendary. Ash Cash.
We going to the class.
That's one of my favorite episodes of all time. I was actually telling somebody the other day, they was asking about writing a book. I said, listen to Ash Cash. Like Ash Cash is the GOAT when it comes to book publishing, book writing. So we got all the heavy hitters. Ash Cash is teaching a class on Wednesday for EYL University. So check that out.
That's my guy, man.
Ken just hit me. Yeah, we going to that. They playing the Ravens. So we're gonna pull up to that.
They playing the Ravens?
Yeah, we pulling up.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, we're going to that, Ken. Good looking.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Live announcement.
We will be in Detroit.
Yeah, we'll be at that game.
Yes.
And then we'll be at the premiere after that. So yeah, we're gonna enjoy ourselves.
It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah,
good time. And we have something very special planned for New York, but we can't release that.
No, you're not gonna
Yes,
say
you
that.
can.
No, we can't say that. No, Ian, I'm not even gonna look at him to say that.
Yeah,
We can't do that. We can't do that.
New York, we ain't forget y'all, man.
Stop it.
You know, I'm feeling extra today. How y'all sit on all this content though? Like, you never get a master P day where you like, I'm gonna drop 5 episodes. Just break the internet.
You know what's so crazy? We've been sitting on this Bobby Wagner episode for what, 4
for
months?
a minute.
Man?
Shot that in April. Yeah.
April. We shot in April. So that's the key, man. It's key to success is just hold content because you never know. You gotta keep it in the tuck.
Man, I would have did the Russ and just put out 20 in one day. Like, hey, go get all of them.
But it's fitting, right? Like,
yeah, well
NFL's
time though.
back. Yeah, NFL's back. He had a great game. And I'm rocking with the Seahawks this year. That's my team.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Saturday, man, you back at it.
Oh yeah, my financial planning class. I'm back Saturday, financial planning class. So it's a busy week for us. Tap in with everything we got going on. We appreciate you guys. And
What time you gonna have it?
12 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock your time.
Yeah. Also Saturday.
So
also Saturday.
Ian might jump in. He jumped in last time.
That was crazy. Greenberg, shout out to Greenberg. That's our hometown. We'll be doing a little back to school situation here. I know they're like, wait, y'all not from Dykeman? Saturday.
Are we doing a back to school thing?
Yeah,
we also put some vending machines. We're going to. I think the board votes tomorrow if they're going to approve our vending machines in our old high school, Woodlands High School. So I wouldn't think that the board would vote against that. That would be a terrible thing for the culture. I don't think that would happen. So yes, we are going to thank the board in advance for allowing us to put vending machines in our old high school, and we're giving a portion back to the senior class for their prom. So that's going to be a dope situation.
It's a busy week. I mean, every week's busy though.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
And what you got?
No stock club call tonight. My baby's sick, so I'm gonna do my daddy daycare thing and look out for my baby and de-stress. If you guys have watched InvestFest replay and you love the segment, I appreciate you for all of you that have hit me up. If you guys want to be a part of the conversation we're going to have on Friday, I'll post that time tomorrow on Instagram. I'll do a Q&A. So hopefully you can tune in Friday with me. Hop on Rashad Saturday. I may slide through, share some gems or two. And for those of you that have joined our ADA pool, I appreciate you. Let's keep running it up. Let's have an amazing show.
Yeah, let's do it. So this episode of Market Mondays is brought to you by Ally Financial. Ally is an option if you're looking to bank or invest. Ally is the leading financial digital finance service company with passionate customer service and innovative financial solutions. They are relentlessly focused on doing it right and being a trusted financial service provider to both customers and communities. Get with Ally to make the most of your money so you can save, invest, and spend on the things that matter to you. Shout out to the good folks at Ally. We are going to be in Detroit. So if Ally, our good friends, you can open the door for us. Yeah. We'll be there. So we definitely got to stop by.
Yeah, we got to have a tour.
We got to have an official tour. That would be dope.
A tour of the facility. Let's make that happen.
Yeah. That's going to be dope. All right. So before we go any further, do your own research. We've said that, and we've given you a lot of homework and we've given you a lot of information, but make sure to do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you hear on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. This is a message brought to you by the good brothers of Earning Leisure and the good brother Ian Dunlap, the master investor, aka Trade Over. You gonna show him the back of the jersey?
Yeah, I may show him a little later. Good lesson though. Please deliver on time. I'll say that. What's your guy's name? Mike B?
Yeah, shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike B for creating fire, incredible sewing, and delivering on time. That's
very,
key.
Very important.
All pun intended.
That's very important.
That's a major key.
Business owners, make sure you have your product in the customer's hands in a timely fashion. And we gotta stop blaming everything on Corona too, because that is like the number one excuse for every business that's not delivering on time. They're like, oh, it's Corona, it's delayed. I get it, but you got to plan accordingly. Okay, let's get into this conversation. So I want to start off the rip with El Salvador. So I actually put this on Instagram, on Earn Your Leisure's Instagram page last week, that El Salvador was the first country to recognize Bitcoin as a national currency. So now I believe the president is saying that they're going to have an exemption for foreign investors when it comes to their Bitcoin tax. So like any taxes on profit gains. So is he just trying to just, you know what I'm saying, get some clout? Is this like just a clout chasing on a high level, or is it like something that's really gonna make people go to El Salvador as a new vibe?
Yeah, when I read the article, the first thing I thought was like Cayman Islands. Like everything in rap was like, yo, we go
hide money on the islands.
That's where we hiding our money. And so I was like, well, this is gonna be the new Cayman Islands. But to me, it was like, yo, is this the new incentive program? Like, what can we do to have people invest in? If you're in Bitcoin, like if you're in cryptocurrency, like I get it. It kind of makes perfect sense, right? Like if there's somebody that's offering you no taxes on your gains, that's a pretty sweet incentive, especially if you were early on in investing in cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin and Ethereum. No taxes.
Whew. So how do you feel about this, Ian?
Every country, company, or entity needs a competitive advantage, and El Salvador doesn't have a big enough one. This can move the needle. I mean, we've seen how well it's worked in Puerto Rico. The part that sucks, though, you may have a bunch of displacement from those that are low income, that are natives of there. So anybody that you know who's lived in Puerto Rico, you've seen this groundswell of people moving because of the tax incentives there. So it's going to change the landscape a little bit. But if you look at the community of Bitcoin or crypto, they don't have a homeland.
Right.
So if your kids have ever played Fortnite, like you need a meetup spot. Bitcoin doesn't have that. Like a Coinbase conference isn't big enough for that at the moment. This is very innovative. I think there's a little bit of clout in there, but if they are able to execute this, they probably have 2 or 3 million people that will be willing to move there as a result of this initiative.
You think that many people, 2 million people?
Worldwide, I think that's a drop in the butt. Like as fanatical, listen, New York Knicks fans are irrational. Bitcoin holders are 10 times worse than it. Like Bitcoin holders are like MLM people and wrestling fans, like rolled in one with money. Like they're some of the most fanatical people that I've ever met. So absolutely. And then let's say if you've been invested since 2013, right, like I was, and then yours didn't get stolen like mine did, El Salvador sounds kind of sexy if you don't have to pay any taxes on it. So worldwide in about a 2 or 3 year period. Yeah. And then you have to look, if you live in LA, New York, Miami, London, Cape Town, you probably can get a mansion for it.
Yeah. I wonder what the stipulation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how long do you have to live there? Can you take the capital gains out while you're there and come back? Like what would be the stipulation? They'd have to release all that before anybody. I mean, 2 to 3 million is a lot, but if anybody was thinking about it, like those would be the questions before I make any type of move, right?
Yeah, I remember back when I was teaching, I taught the class to the kids about how every year thousands of Americans renounce their citizenship.
Mm-hmm. I remember
that. And they couldn't understand at the time. They were like, what does that mean to renounce your citizenship? And I'm like, they renounce their citizenship. They're no longer U.S. citizens. And they're like, why would they do that? And I'm like, they're going to save so much money on taxes. And they move to different countries. And it's just like, they kind of cool off of living in America. So it's more of a high level conversation. Obviously, you got to be in a whole different mindset and a whole different, tax bracket to even think about something like that. But it happens. Like I said,
there's no more reason I moved to Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And based on what you posted earlier, right, about the New York State,
like Miami, here I come.
Oh my God!
I gotta talk to Miss Business about
what was that? 62%? They said
61% for the highest tax in New York City. That's nonsense.
And start packing tonight.
Yeah, California 59%. I'm like, I gotta call Ian and John. Like, listen, man, how's Houston? How's Austin? This Texas thing might be situated.
Yeah, but a lot of billionaires, a lot of people with a lot of money have renounced their citizenship, moved out of America. So, this might be something where the president is looking to capture a portion of that. And it'll be interesting to see how Bitcoin is taxed moving forward. And as it becomes more and more Bitcoin billionaires, and just from a privacy standpoint, from a taxation standpoint, will they leave countries like China, like America, like Russia, that's a little bit more strict and, and will they move to countries like El Salvador, or at least have a residency there. It's interesting. So global, we will keep an eye on this. We, you know, at least once a show. If you haven't noticed, we've been trying to do global topics because this is a global show. And there are people from all over the world that tune in to Market Mondays, from the UK, from Canada, from Africa, from Europe, South America. So we can't just talk about America. We have to talk about the global economy, and the global economy is relevant to America anyway. So everybody should be aware of what's going on all over the world.
And if it's not El Salvador, I'm guaranteeing the thought will be sparked by another country, right? Like this is like, you know what I mean? Like, so that'll be interesting.
Well, like you said, Switzerland for a long time was known for that. Cayman Islands. So, you know, it's interesting. Now that we're in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency wave. So now it's not the Swiss bank account anymore. It's the El Salvador wallet. Coin that.
What you doing, man? Sabine, we're gonna call you in the morning.
All right, God.
Yeah, you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So speaking of Fortnite, Epic. This is I talked about this a while ago. So what will be the effects of Epic Games ruling have on Apple stock, being that it's a $7 billion hit to their revenue? So this is interesting on a few different levels. If you've been following this Epic Game Apple fight for over a year and a half now.
Has it been that long?
I think it's
I felt maybe last summer they started the suit.
It's been a while. Yeah. So well, first you want to kind of bring them up to date as far as what's happening with that, or?
Yeah, so I mean the suit was really over the fees that you had to pay in app purchases, and I think the 30%, they were fighting the 30% that everybody who was on the App Store had to pay to be a part of it, and so it's kind of a double edge, right? Like 30%. Yeah, it seems like a lot, but when you get on a platform like Apple, who brings you billions of customers,
they're looking at it like they're already Fortnite. So that's a crazy thing.
That's what I'm saying. They're already Fortnite.
Who has the most leverage? Yeah,
it's important to understand Apple's revenue streams. They have a lot of different revenue streams, and one of their revenue streams is the App Store. 30% is a lot. That's a lot if you really think about it, because they're getting 30% of everybody that's in the App Store. So
the bigger question is, where else can give you that type of exposure?
Nowhere.
Maybe
a Super Bowl ad, but that's for one day.
Right. Yeah. But so Epic fought back, and they put out a dope commercial. I went over. I made an Instagram post with my son about that, where they did. Remember Apple's original commercial, like when they did the 1984 commercial, and they threw it at so they said Apple's trying to take us back to 1984, meaning like Apple's trying to become Big Brother. Apple's trying to take the little guy's money, and it's an interesting situation. So they sued them, and they won the lawsuit, I believe.
No, Epic lost the lawsuit.
Epic lost?
They lost the lawsuit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do we stand with this, Ian? What's your thoughts on what's going on?
Normally I would come on and be like, yo, Tim Cook's second greatest CEO of all time, and I'm not worried. This is not the case. $7 billion is a lot of revenue to potentially lose. I'm not just worried about Epic, but what if the top 50 apps come together and then at one time they say, we need to do something about this fee. Now, of course, they're working on a car, and we can talk about that later. But when you are looking at potentially maybe 50 or 60 apps coming together and then making you negotiate from 30 to 10 or 15%, that is a huge hit. So I know they're going to try and offset the losses. They're going to add some incentives. They're going to do some things with developers on the back end. But from a branding perspective, I think it was brilliant for Epic to go up against the giant, because Epic is not a small company. They can say the 1984 thing, and that's cute. And Apple did the same thing with Microsoft. Yeah. So it's a little bit of karma coming back home on the back end of the 2007 I'm a Mac versus PC campaign. But I'm worried if 40 or 50 apps come together, force them, and if they get the monopoly tag from the federal court, that'll be bad. Am I worried about the stock? No, in the short term. Yeah. But it is to see maybe 7 to, on the high end, $84 billion leave out of Apple in the worst case scenario. That's nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, long term, they'll be great, but it's something I would be concerned about.
I think a small win in this was that, yeah, the 30% they lost that lawsuit, but I think that they ruled that they have to change how they do in-app purchases. And so you've already paid your 30% to be in the App Store, but the in-app purchases, that's it really for the company, right? So if you're buying things inside of an app, there shouldn't be a percentage that goes to Apple because you're hosting it. And so I think they said that they ruled that they have to change how they do in-app purchases going forward. And so it's like a small, it's a small victory, but you know, it is what it is. And then Apple, like you said, the stock, like, are we worried about it short term, long term? What's tomorrow? Right? Like they have this, right? They announced a new iPhone tomorrow. They announced a new iWatch, potentially a new iPad. So,
and that car.
Well, we're gonna get there, but they're just gonna keep on innovating. We're gonna keep supporting it. Like their brand loyalty is at a different level. So
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they kind of have, you know, a monopoly on it, and a lot of people, you know, really don't have. Fortnite obviously can survive without Apple, but the vast majority of apps really can't survive without Apple. So it'll be interesting to see if other, you know, huge apps and games decide to leave the platform. But Fortnite, it'll be interesting to see their future.
Yeah, like a majority of the CEOs are saying like, we're fine paying the 30 because we wouldn't have the audience. Our business wouldn't survive without you. Like you said, Fortnite a little different. The way that they have run their businesses, they can do it on any platform. They do it on Xbox, they can do it on PlayStation. They don't really need the app. So yeah, having the handheld is clutch and it's a key component. But like you said, it will survive without it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. Speaking of Apple, while we're on Apple, we spoke last week about Apple electric car ambition, and at the time, you know, Apple, they reached out to a bunch of different car companies, BMW, Hyundai, Nissan, and
they said Neo. They say he's caught in the Matrix.
Who?
Ian.
Yeah,
is he?
Yeah.
I think he was.
There he goes. Yeah, I don't know his Wi-Fi. He gotta pay the price to upgrade his Wi-Fi. So while Ian jumps back on, so yeah, we talked about Apple potentially partnering up with BMW, Nissan, a few different car companies. They was kind of testing the waters. So today, there he goes. He's back. Today, they announced it was published on a few different publications that instead of partnering with somebody, they're gonna just do it themselves to, you know, avoid any delays because they already had delays. So now we're gonna have just a 100% Apple car, smart car. How do you feel about the smart car? That's gonna be crazy.
If they could do it all over, I think Apple would have made chips on their own from the very beginning, but it was very expensive, all hardware, all software. And it's the thing about entrepreneurship. Like whenever you have a loss or perceived loss, you have to be able to pick up and do things on your own. Even just being around you and Trap and like everybody we know in the ecosystem, Matt, like you have to learn how to make your own content, create slides, edit, everything, right? So why should they outsource if they are producing at a higher level than most other companies? And these other entities, Toyota, Mercedes was in talks at one point, they didn't deliver fast enough. It's the thing I talked about at the top of the show. Can you deliver what is needed at time? And to be honest, the thing that separates the companies that are great versus the ones that are not, and the people that are very wealthy versus the ones that struggle, is most people don't deliver on time. So if they can get this done on their own, why should they outsource it to Hyundai or Toyota or Ford or GM? I mean, they had talks with 9 companies.
Right.
No one did anything in 12 or 13 months. It's too long.
Yeah. And I think when we talk about delays, yeah, and it's kind of what we spoke about last week. Yeah, we can manufacture, produce, but who's going to manufacture? Obviously, they're going to have to build facilities to create these auto plants, and obviously they're creating their own chips. So it will take time, right? We won't see an Apple car within the next year or two, but long term, the long term,
24 though.
Right. They're looking at the long term, right? So that's what we got to keep in mind. And like you said, there was companies here that wanted to partner, and the reason why Apple's taking as partners, like we can get into this right now. We can compete with the Teslas of the world right now if there's somebody willing to partner with us who has the manufacturing capability, right? Who has the machinery to get this done. And so,
well, that's the thing. This is the elephant in the room. Is Apple going to compete with Tesla? Because Tesla, even though it's not a car company, it's a tech company, and they have a lot of revenue outside of cars. They're known for cars, right? So they was on a nice, smooth path. You know, a lot of these companies have electric cars, but nobody, when you think of electric cars, you think of a Tesla. They're like synonymous with electric cars. So now you got the biggest player ever when it comes to technology coming into the space, and they're the best at branding. Say what you want about Apple. Nobody has better branding outside of maybe Nike. We talked about that. They have the best branding ever. They have an unlimited war chest when it comes to money that they can spend. They're going to have the best technology. And their design is going to be crazy. The iPhone, Apple always has great design, sleek. They look good. They have great products. So is this a long-term issue for Tesla?
Biggest competitor that they can ever have. And also, if revenue isn't strong enough and they don't get more, I've said since the beginning of Market Mondays, they need an operator like Tim Cook. You need a celebrity CEO who's going to drive the vision, get all the hedge funds and pension funds on board. That's one value. Elon's a pretty solid engineer, but you don't have a person or a team that is like as great as of an operator. So a little bit of this is ego too, because Tim and Elon don't get along because Elon reminds Tim of Steve. So it's some of that competitive, like Tim Cook is like Tom
Brady. I'm assuming he's saying Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Could be Tom Hanks. That's your man.
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks.
I mean, you say he's the best actor?
One of. He's one
No, he
of.
definitely is.
No,
He
he's
definitely
definitely one of the best actors of all time. Shout out to Tom Hanks. And he's also a pilot. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out going forward.
It looks like even in the technology space now, if we look at Netflix and Disney Plus, that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's like you got a stable horse in the streaming service. You got a established company who's known for something completely different that is now coming into the space. And they don't have to pass you. They just have to make a dent in your industry, right? And so I feel like this is going to be comparable if Apple comes into the auto industry, because they don't have to take all the customers. But if they make a significant dent with their brand loyalty, long term, right? Tesla is known for, obviously, like we said, it's a technology company, but it's known for the automotives. Where's their revenue stream? Where else is the revenue stream coming from, right? The automotive would just be an addition to what Apple's doing. Tesla, you put a dent in that automotive industry, you're hurting a lot of revenue.
Nah, it's interesting. Like I said, that's what I'm thinking about is Tesla more than anything else. So, all right, let's have some stock conversation while Ian takes a moment to get the Wi-Fi situated. Some calls came out today, huh? 20 for options for the option. We can talk options now that Ian's not here. Ian hates options.
Yo, if he come back, Janet, give us the warning signal like he's back.
Ian's not here, so let's just go crazy on this option conversation.
Yeah, man. So obviously, like we said, do your own research. And so I was in the lab this morning, and right before I actually called Ian, and he ain't pick up. But I'm like, I'm looking at my charts, I'm going over my calls because I'm reevaluating my portfolio. And lo and behold, I see January 19th, 2024. I was actually looking at SMH, looking at for the future of SMH. And so I'm like, SMH is January 2024. Let me check the rest of my table. XLK, January 2024. I'm like, wait, let me check Apple. And so long story short, options chains have extended to obviously January 19th, 2024. And so right now I was in the lab all day redesigning the portfolio to say, all right, we can go with a longer term play here. We can go with a longer term situation here. And I put the back call out. I put it in the group chat. It was like the first person to respond, Wall Street Trapper. He said, yes, brother. But he also said something very important. And we mentioned it at the beginning of September that quadruple witching happens in September. And so for everybody that is interested in getting option calls at this point, I would definitely, and this is just recommended, you don't have to do it, but I would wait after witching.
Tell them about the chain. What is the option chain? For anybody that might be watching Market Monday that doesn't know about options too much, what is the option chain?
So the option chain is really the expiration date, right? And so each stock has an expiration date. And like, so this week, what's Friday? September, I think I have an option that's expiring September 18th?
September 17th.
So September 17th, there will be contracts in the option, even in the futures market, that will be expiring. And so when you see contracts expiring, usually that means obviously when some expire, there will be new ones created. And so usually around witching, you'll see new ones created or options extended. And so when I say new ones created, I want to be very clear. 2024 is an extension, right? That's a new year. When I say new ones created, I mean, so like if we're in September 2021, you may see new ones created like February 22, or you might see March 22. So they've extended, but not a new year. And so this week, and I think some of them, I believe September 3rd, we started seeing some of them open today. And so that's good. And there's a few reasons why I think it's a good thing. Is because when the option call opens, you can see its initial price. You can see where it was valued at. Two things why that matters, right? Two reasons. You can see if you're going to buy it under value, right? So if that option price opened at $25 or $2 and you buy it at 79 cents, you can see that there's been a drop in this option call. This might be a good place to get in, right? If you're looking at the ask and the bid, or if you're getting it, it opened at $2 and now it's at $5.70, right? Obviously, this has run up a little bit. This might not be the best place for you to get in. And so these are some of the things that I'm looking at when I'm looking at option calls. And then like in 2 days, I'm going to get a call from Rashad Bilal, and he's going to tell, he's going to say, what's the move, what we doing? But yeah, so the call is out. And so if you're interested, if you trade options, 2024s are out.
What's quadruple witching?
So it's when contracts expire. And so, like I said, in the future.
You're funny. That's funny.
So the third month and the third week of the third month of each quarter, usually contracts expire. And so that's happening this week. Like I said, September 17th to September 18th, December 17th, since the 18th is on a Saturday. Those contracts will expire, and new ones will be created. And so that means that people are selling out of their positions, right? They're saying, okay, either we're taking profit and we're moving on, or we're taking profit and we're extending into later positions. And so that's happening this week. And so when I text that, Travel's like, yo, we're going to wait till after witching. So that would be next week. And that strategy has worked for us in the past. I'm saying us because we have a similar trading portfolio. So
for those of you who want to overtrade, once again, I want to ask, how many trades have you guys done this year?
Right. Us?
Us personally?
Yep.
Not a lot.
Yeah. This year has been
probably less than 10.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I did. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the investment in our group chat. But yeah, not many. Like I said,
I probably did like 5. I'm
probably like 10 or 12.
That's it. 90% of your money long term, other 10% for trading. You guys should do less than 10 trades a year. If you was at InvestUs, you know the formula. Don't come on here in 8 weeks. I lost $88,000 because I did 14 trades. I'm gonna laugh.
We ain't tell you to do that. We ain't tell you to do that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Might
so
clip it up.
we, I know for sure in Apple. I'll just put the ones that are in my portfolio that I'm looking at: Apple, Square, Disney, XLK, XLY, SMH. I added, and Ian, we on the phone. I talked about this. I'm like, look, I'm thinking Zscaler. I had a position there. I spoke about it last week, and CrowdStrike, and we kind of had a little back and forth there about that. And so, yeah, man. So that's where I'm at with it. And I just want to give everybody a heads up because I know sometimes it'll be like 6 weeks into the quarter, and you're like, wait, the 2024 calls are on. And I'm like, nah, I told you today, September 13th, when a lot of them opened, and I saw the opening price. I got the sheet right there. Had a whole new notepad. I actually took that strategy from Chap. Every time I see him walking and you talk to him about stocks, he's writing it down in a notebook. And so I started getting a notebook myself and writing it down. So I got my opening prices for some of these. So I know when I enter these positions, where I'm entering them at, if I'm entering them at value. And so, yeah, that's a little tidbit that maybe you can add to your arsenal as well.
Yeah, there you have it. All right. So Ian, now that you're back, let's talk about these top 3 lessons learned from one of the Red Panda members that made $42,000 trading futures in the last 30 days.
Man, I'll go back to what we were just talking about. It's a few trades. So today, NASDAQ dropped really hard. Kudos to my guy. I won't say your name because I don't want people blowing you up like that. But everyone thinks that the secret to making a lot of money in trading is to trade more. It's actually less. Like last month, I took 18 trades, won all 18. And I can argue probably even last month, I probably overtraded. So number one, I'll say here, only take 10 good trades on the year. Number 2, have a really, really big target. So if you are going to trade capital, size up after you practice your 300 trades, and your trade should make you a sizable amount of money. If your trades are not making you between, let's say, $5,000 to $15,000 per trade, your risk to reward ratio is off and your target is too short. And number 3, the part that me, you, Trap, shout out Bam, Mike, MG, everybody who be in the chat, you have to put the time in. Please put this in chat. If you want to get rich, you have to invest in your knowledge. I'm not selling you guys anything, but the number of people that I've met when I ask, hey, have you read 25 books this year? They're like, no. I'm like, if you knew how exhausted we were on a day-to-day basis, you know, Rashad got a migraine from being out in the sun. He probably put up 28,000 jumpers while giving out t-shirts, right? I'm driving to drop Xander off when he's sick, then come back and do the show. Like, I'm telling you, for the one or two of you who are going to listen, your ultimate edge is knowing that everyone you're competing against is lazy as hell. Please read 50 pages a day. Complete Turtle Traders, Market Wizards, Unknown Market Wizards, Hedge Fund Market Wizards, and dive through those pages. And then everyone's going to have the same roller coaster. If you're excited when you first start, then you lose and you're like, I should quit. What my guy did, he just kept pouring in. And then, you know, he was hitting me at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning with ideas. And that's when I know he was getting into his own, because the knowledge is going to equip you to be able to make the kind of capital that you want. Because this really is a game of information. That's why I put so much time into reading and tell you guys to pour in so much, because all the secrets are hidden in the book. But once you put them together in like a gumbo pot, that's where your edge is going to be. So read more. Your trades should produce 5 to 15,000 minimum per trade. No, you're not going to hit $500 a day. You're not going to do it. No business is that, like Apple does not clear a certain amount of dollars per day every day. They have peaks and valleys, right? And then also too, the last bonus tip I'll get is, like, you need to say the affirmation of how much money you want to make. Everything that we've all done on the show, we said it out verbally, either to ourselves or each other or out on the show, and then push to make it happen. I see a lot of people talking about trading and say they want to be free. And I'm like, what kind of targets do you want to make? And they're like, man, if I get $200 a day, I'll be cool. I'm like, no, you won't. No, you won't. So set a big target. Don't tell your family. Don't tell your friends. Keep it inside of you and tell yourself that you're capable and you're worthy of it. And you can make it happen. So I hope that helped you guys. But please read more. I'm begging you.
Yeah, it's the key. It's
you
the
have
key.
it. Like Nas said, I invest in education because he wasn't privy. Very important bar right there.
Always read, man. Always read. And Ian's not joking. Like when I call him, when he calls me, if he FaceTimes me, usually I'm in front of the computer.
Yeah.
Even like yesterday, I got Sunday after we did the charity give back. I'm in the lab. Like I told him, like I'm in the lab. Like
I can feel the energy. Even the day like the calls out, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm not gonna release that one yet. I'm not finished on my research on it, but yeah, always in the lab, man, because there's always something to learn. Like this, it's incredible. I love learning, and so being in this world, like the stock market and finance, it's like it's so fascinating. I'm like, this is life changing. Wait, does everybody not
investing and financing are lazy?
I'm like, do people realize it? They're saying this? Like, all we got to do is follow this, and there's another rabbit hole. So learning never stops, man. I see some people shouting out the book club. Shout out to the book club. Shout out to G. They're reading the Intelligent Investor. They started that yesterday. Shout out to all the earners that were in there. They actually had a listening party before it, which was dope. Because a lot of people, we try to read and it's like tough for us. And so Janet had the great idea, like, hey, let's just have the listening party to it. And so a lot of earners showed up to that. And then had a discussion, because now it's fresh in your head and they're following along, reading it and listening to it. It's dope. And so shout out to all earners.
Jaleel, I was speaking to Jaleel yesterday. He was like, he was talking about some book, and he was like, yeah, you strike me as a person that does audio books.
However you get it done, that's how you get it done. The only book I tell people they have to read, like the actual book, is Money Master the Game. But if you do Audible, or I even use an app called 12 Minute. They give you a breakdown of a book in 12 minutes. It helps. Like every book that you guys read, it should produce $1 million idea. Some people are like, well, I don't like Money Master the Game. I'm like, that's because you didn't execute upon it. If you executed upon what was in there, like, you would have every book take one idea from it and then figure out a way for it to make it $1 million, even if you're broke. Because I'll be honest, like when I had less money, I probably was more creative and thought bigger. So use that everything has an advantage and an upside to it. Like, but
why is that? Why do you say
because
that?
you have all upside. Like when you're broke and you have nothing, the only thing you can think is like, man, what I'm gonna do to make $22 billion in a year? Like, you have to stretch. Like, even the conversations from episode 70, like, we've all grown. But I remember, we was having some big lofty conversations, and this being the #1 show back when we thought Zoom was tripping today. Zoom used to really be bad. So you have to speak those things. And even at InvestFest, me being like, hey, I'm not doing a normal show. I'm going to bring different energy. Like you have to put that. Now I put the pressure on myself and now I have to deliver. So, my Zoom was messing up. I was getting a tight face like you. I'm like, man, my anxiety kicking in because I want every show to be better. We don't know who's watching. Like Barack Obama may be watching. Hey, Barack. Hey, Michelle. Call me auntie. Everyone has to be great. So to put the pressure on yourself. But I think Damon John has a book, The Power of Broke, when you don't have anything but to dream, that's when all the great ideas. And I can argue, even going back to Drake and Kanye from last week, Kanye's albums were better when he was creating, when he was broke.
You know what? But I also think that there is something to the fact where if you have money, you're allowed to be more creative too. Because like me, my daily ritual is I wake up and I look at the ceiling and
your leisure has been earned.
I meditate from anywhere from a half an hour to an hour. And this is where I come up with my best ideas. I come up with all my thoughts, and it's like the best thing in the world. I say that to say, if I had to wake up early and had to, go through the daily grind and all of that, I wouldn't have enough time to actually think. So I think, having some level of financial freedom actually allows you to think at a higher level, because when you're constantly working, like the average person doesn't really have time to think. I talked about this before. Like you wake up, you get your kids dressed, you take your kids to school, you work from 9 to 5, then you got to pick your kid up, and you got to make dinner. Then you don't even have time to actually even think. You just living, doing what you got to do to survive, and then you just so tired you end up crashing out, and then you just wake up and just do it again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm with you. I used to call it survival mode, right? Like when I was working in the inner city, it was like, look, man, how am I going to get through today? We'll worry about tomorrow when we get there, but let's get through today. And by the time, like you said, it consumes you, right? The teaching, being the school therapist, being a counselor, being a big brother, all those things consume you. It doesn't free your mind to ideas. I always say this to people. I'm like, Earn Your Leisure couldn't exist if I still worked in that setting, because my mind wouldn't be allowed me to think like, yo, we could do this. Oh, this program needs this. But it went from survival mode. Once I got out of that environment, it became thrival mode. I always call it that. Like we go from survival to thrival. Now you have your best opportunity to have a clear mind, or at least have some clarity where you can come up with ideas, where you can actually think ahead. And so those are the two words I used to use for it. Like, yeah, damn, I left that. That was survival. Now it's time for thrival. And so that's where we are now.
Can we both be right?
Possibly. Yeah. I just think it depends on the person. I just think it depends on the person.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. That's a fact. So, all right, let's talk about some high level thinking. Bank of America's reliable model indicates negative long-term results for the first time since 1999. Is this something to be scared of?
I've been saying it for a while. We can go on the record, but 24 we may have a slight recession. It won't be next year, so there's nothing to worry about in the near term. But historically, when you guys are like looking, I'm gonna be honest, like it's sexy for media to talk about crashes because it gets more clicks and more views, but you have to start thinking of crashes as immense opportunities. You have to. Like, so if we have a huge crash in 24, I'm gonna talk a lot less on here, and I'm gonna be buying up a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna call Troy, and like, hey,
put the back call out.
Hey, let's go stock club. We're gonna run it up again, get y'all another 1,000% in a year for long-term investing. But we do need, things have went up so fast. Quantitative easing has gotten worse. So there will be a slight pullback in 24. And then these kind of indicators from Bank of America, JP Morgan, these are nothing to make fun of or sneeze at. So if that level has been hit, it's telling you that we can have a turnaround for sure.
Let me ask you this, because we talked about let's get into this Sonola conversation.
Solana.
Some say Solana.
Some say Solana.
Good Euro step. Ginobili. Go ahead.
They say I'm Ginobili with my left hand. Woo.
What's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts on it?
We can't argue with the run up. Listen, people was talking to me about it yesterday. Like, did you catch it? I'm like, nope. I wish I would have. A good entry would have been like around 37, and if we drop back down to, it's crazy to say, even like 75.04, 94.27 to be a great entry. But like, if you look, the 1 month return is 314%. It's up 5,000% all time.
Yo, it's up 4,700% this year.
So
like 4,700%.
This is the number one question people are going to ask: Is it too late?
So let's understand.
For a large position, yes, but for a smaller one, no.
Well, it depends. And so like when they ask that question, I always ask, do you understand? And so like for me to understand, I had to let me dive into this. And so, all right, so let's figure out what it does. Number one, it is a long-term challenger to Ethereum, right? And so Ethereum is a platform that other currencies are built on top of, right? And so there's a couple of things that it has in its advantage. Number one is that it's transaction rates. So this is crazy. This is crazy when I looked into it. You can do up to 50,000 transactions per second. 50,000, right? I'm gonna compare it to Bitcoin. Now you're gonna really understand. Bitcoin, you can do 5 transactions per second. Ethereum, you can do 15 transactions per second. We're talking about 50,000. So what's caused the run up is the question, right? And
NFTs.
It's no question. Like undeniably, NFTs have caused it to run up because obviously, if the transaction speeds are a lot faster and it's 200% less the cost to actually move the money, this makes more sense than putting it on Ethereum. And so people are moving to Solana. Like it came out of nowhere. It's number 7 right now on CoinMarketCap.
Where can they buy it?
I'll tell you right now.
What was the entry price that you said earlier, Ian?
The one I would have wanted would have been like 36 to 37. 48.04 is good, and then in the 79 area would be amazing.
So you can get it on Coinbase. It's on Binance. It's on FTX. It's on Binance US.
It's on all the major.
KuCoin. Yeah. So it's on all the majors, and so that was cool, right? When I looked at the transaction speeds, I'm like, wow, that blows Bitcoin and Ethereum out the water. And so I wanted to translate it into what we know as the form of currency, right? So I looked at Visa. You know what Visa's transaction speed is?
What?
1,700 transactions per second.
This thing is doing this weekend.
This thing is doing 50,000 transactions per second. And so
is it too? I mean, all right, it's
I don't know if it's
$169 right now. Ryan Leslie famously said on episode 150 of Earn Your Leisure that he invested in Bitcoin when it was $148. And it's what it is now, 50,000, just short of 50, whatever. Everybody's always looking for the next Bitcoin. That's what this comes down to.
Yeah.
So they're looking at like, all right, it might have went up 5,000%, but it's still $169.
At the prices I called it solid, but it goes back to the biggest lesson of everything. Every episode that you guys have had here and on the main podcast, there aren't too many people that you talk to that invested for 1 year and they made all of their money there.
Yeah.
Real estate, crypto, NFT, stocks, 5-year minimum, 20-year. I've been saying it. Like, you guys want another answer. That's the answer. There's nothing else to say. I'm not gonna play with y'all today. 5 years or 20. That's it. And because in 5 years you're gonna want the money anyway. So
what's the supply, Troy? Can you look that up?
Yeah, I got you right.
Sorry to cut you off, Ian.
No, you good.
Yeah, no, you're right. But it's interesting to see this. What's the supply?
Circulating supply is 293 million. Total supply is 504 million.
Yeah, and then if people are holding it typically for 8 to 9 days, because you can go research how many days most people are holding it. You can see when a pattern is about to start and when it'll run up. So if most people are holding it for 8 days, you probably can take profit at 6 or use Fibonacci retracement. And I'm gonna say this too: every trading strategy that I've given you guys works for. How are you guys not using the 72 and the 200 to get in on Ethereum and Bitcoin and Solana? The blueprint is there. Fibonacci retrace. Use it. Yeah, and you're good. But if they're holding for 8 days, get out at 6, and then when things take a tumble and they go in a cycle, you'll be able to take advantage of it.
What's the supply for Ethereum?
Supply for Ethereum is 100, and the circulating supply is 117.5 million, and it's the same for the total supply. So yeah, I mean, that's the formula, right? That's the thing with being first, right? coin and competitors can say, all right, where are their disadvantages? All right, let's capitalize on their disadvantage. They have high gas fees. All right, let's make ours lower. They have slow transaction rates. All right, let's make ours faster. And so you have a coin here that's like, all right, we've executed on both. It just so happens that the NFT space has just blossomed, and so now you add those. It's like the perfect storm.
It's a use case for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys go research why NFTs are taking off so much for those who make money in crypto. We won't talk about it here, but if you understand why, you can understand why these are running up. And then, same with Cardano, and then Ada's had an incredible run. And that's why I always stress, okay, this is the homework I want to give you guys, because I've been giving you homework for a while. Take the top 10 movers of NASDAQ. Take the top 10 movers in crypto. Take the average of how long they take to go up 10,000%. That'll give you how many days you should be holding the asset. Like, a lot of people think trading is like a guessing game. It's all mathematical equations that you can go look. But if you go here's the part that you guys don't want, the actual research and the reading and doing the work part. Go do the work. You can go look at every crypto and you can go read the white papers. They'll tell you how many days it'll take for them to build a base and when it'll take off and then when to leave. Go do the homework.
Yeah. And sometimes, like I said, you got to just keep digging for information. Like Solana was like out of nowhere, but there's plenty of information on it if you know the right places. We've given plenty of information of where to get it. Coin Market Cap, Crypto Pro, CoinDesk. There's so many forms of information. I know it's a lot. It's like, wait, how am I going to do crypto and how am I going to do stock?
If you want to be rich, you got to do it.
Oh.
We're going to have honest conversation. Okay. Rashad, how many hours you sleep per day? Troy, how many you sleep per day?
Well, I'll let him answer first.
Not enough. I don't know, bro. Not enough, though. Not enough.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
I try to sleep 7 hours. I put my
we can say business is up over the last year, right?
Okay.
Scalability
looks likely.
Looks very likely these days.
I'm going to be, if you got, this is what it takes. So if you guys I consider myself an intellectual athlete. Some of you want to get rich without the work. That does not, you can't say you love Mamba mentality, but then you put in Smush Parker effort here in investing. Smush don't come from me because I know you about it. You're my guy. But I'm just saying, if you have not finished Money Master the Game, Intelligent Investor, Market, you don't want to be rich. If you're not on the charts 4 to 8, that's another point my guy made. He's on the charts 8 hours a day. Talk to Trap. Trap, what you doing? In the charts or with his family?
Yeah.
There are some parallels you guys have to follow. You're looking at the glitz part. You want to sit on the Market Mondays part. You don't want the 2010 going through. I spent $9,000 on books last year. Y'all don't want that part though. Because you want 24s on a Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Y'all want Dodge Challenger SRT. The demon time is in the mastery of the skill. But for those of you that are serious about investing, and I'm going to be real, Troy and Rashad passed a lot of y'all up who said y'all was good anyway because you didn't want to put in the work. Man, they only get doing 3 to 5 calls. The percentages they're up are stupid. Listen, I can take some companies public off the returns I got on futures. Just master the craft. And here's the great part. If we all master the craft, there's no competition. We're at some point, we really going to have this China conversation. But for Black Americans here.
And you know what's crazy is Mike Novogratz actually spoke about that when he was on the show months ago. Mm-hmm. So even if you would have invested back then, it would be interested to see what the rate of return was. But I know it wasn't anywhere close to the price that it is now. And he spoke about it. And some people was too concerned about his views on XRP to listen to anything that he said.
He's a billionaire. There's certain people when they talk. Here's my
hey, hold on. You got to just let it pause after you said that.
Same with Cuban and NFTs.
He's a billionaire.
Then 19 came on to tell you to study. Then y'all didn't study, right? Stop getting emotionally high off this experience like his church, but then go execute, right?
That's I'm glad you said that, Ian, because it's like as a community, sometimes we have to just put our pride aside. Like, it was amazing to me after that episode came out. A lot of people liked it, but a lot of people had negative comments to say, and they this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And it was like, okay, he's worth what was it?
So he came on in mid-February.
Come on, but that was
when he told about Solana, it was $13.
Yeah, it was $13 when he came on. It's $169 now. So long story short, he's a billion. Not only is he a billionaire, he's worth $7 billion. So he's a billionaire 7 times over. So obviously he knows something. So
you can't get to $1 billion by accident. And this is my number one rule of thumb. Whoever has more money than me, I shut up and listen. You in action. When these billionaires come on, what do? I ask questions, write hello notes.
And it's very rare to you act like us bringing on billionaires is an everyday thing. Like we brought on Mark Cuban, we brought on Mike Novogratz. Like
we should get an Emmy for that.
It's not easy. It's not easy to have a billionaire come on your YouTube channel and just give free information and people's like heckling in the comments.
Have some class. Like, and truth be told, this is sometimes why people may not want to come on as fast. Especially if they're not our color. Like he doesn't have to. He can go to Yahoo Finance for cheddar or sit up on CNBC, or he can go with Dave Portnoy and go like, and then he come on, hey, the analysis good. And don't know that shit went to 28 when it was at 55. He told you he can't outright say buy it at 28.
Right.
But if he is a billionaire that said, no, the analysis is good. These are hedge fund up. That is code for buy zone. That's a buy zone. Like if we hooping, I'll say, yo, go cherry pick that. I'm gonna throw you this lob. You have to execute. I want us to stop. It's going to be 2022. 2 more years going to be 2025. I don't want you watching this episode from day 5 or episode 5, and then in 5 years you're not rich. If you have not made 200% watching the show, you have not executed.
Fact.
That's on you. That is all. I love y'all. Namaste.
Yeah.
More billionaires to come, by the way. It's called Stay Tuned.
It's called.
Oh, baby.
It's called just
listen,
getting
just
started.
run the whole domination plan down.
No, we can't do it yet. We still got next Monday. So every Monday we'll just drop another bond palm the hair top.
It's cool.
If anybody know Auntie Oprah, tell Auntie Oprah come on too, please. I'm gonna put that out in the universe before she retires.
They call us the Big Show.
The next. Okay, so the next round of billionaires. Let's just have a.
Sam,
you don't know who I know. You don't.
Hey, real quick, man. That was some great marketing. But in the competitive world of advertising, marketers are always looking for an edge to accelerate growth, reach new customers, and get measurable results. Today, they're turning to the best kept secret in marketing, direct mail, reinvented for the digital world by Posty. Posty has transformed direct mail by adding all the digital marketing capabilities found in channels like Facebook, Google, and YouTube. Posty allows you to run direct mail like a digital marketer. Right? It integrates with your CRM, accesses data, sets and builds lookalike models for over 250 million US customers. With Posty, you now are in on your target audience and reach customers that you don't find through other channels. Posty's campaigns allow you to attract new customers, retarget your website visitors, and re-engage your existing customers to increase lifetime value. So I want y'all to check it out, right? Hurry and get your free Posty demo today by visiting posty.com/Market Mondays. That's posty.com/Market Mondays for a free Posty demo. Posty direct mail, reinvented for the digital world. Real quick.
Spell it out for everybody real quick.
POSTIE.com/Market Mondays. Check it out for real. Real quick, earnings. So this is brought to you by the earnings report. Real quick. Not too many earnings that we had on our radar. And so next week, Oracle will be reporting on Monday, and it will probably come out right before we do the show. So keep your eye on that. Definitely.
We're going to Africa, by the way.
Shotty's not playing. Is this we doing? I'm with the spice.
You gotta just keep dropping bombs. Like you gotta. Once you drop a bomb, you just gotta keep dropping.
Keep the energy going. Yeah,
you gotta get the sound effect bomb.
If Market Mondays has made you money, please put yes in chat. So if you're a first time listener, you can see this is real and no theory. Might clip that up, please. If I've made you money, please put yes in chat.
Shout out to Mike.
Oh man, we are headed to Africa. Before we take questions, let me just get one more. Let me get one more thing, because a lot of people have been asking about that TQQQ situation, but then people was talking about QQQM, which is the QQQ situation, but has lower fees. So I saw people asking, well, QQQM QQQM is actually better. So what's your thoughts on QQQM?
I like it as a secondary. I think TQQQ and QQQ is like LeBron, and QQQM is like, let's say Bosch. I don't want to say D-Wade because D-Wade is great. But I understand that it's cheaper. But when paying for these things, the only thing that I worry about is if you get it through a certain, and I don't work for Vanguard. I get nothing on the back end from Vanguard. I like Invesco, but I've seen situations where S&P 500 or NASDAQ related products come out and then they drop because pension fund, hedge fund, prop firm gets out of it, and then it skews your portfolio. Some of you have not lived through a 60% drop or 70% drop in your stock. It's not fun. Even with TUCL split, I had a bunch of people hitting me like, yo, what happened? I was like, yo, it's a stock split. It did not fall apart. You're good. So I do like it as a secondary, but if you're just getting started and you need to see it work, sure, put a couple thousand in it if you can afford it. I like the Qs better. TQQQ, there are some disadvantages of it, but if you are a seasoned investor, you know to wait for extreme drops in it. But Triple QM is a good secondary or like backup all-star that you can put in your portfolio.
Dope. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, real quick, I just want to make a mention of this that I was reading, and this is why I called you this morning. I was reading Business Insider, and the headline was China is already sending aid to the Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. And I'm like, I know I heard my brother talk about this like 2 weeks ago.
Like, as Rashad would say, you don't know who I know. Ian hates Bitcoin and all things that the culture like. So no, I trust me, the conversations that I'm having, and then also too, like when you look at strategy, it's the next. I mean, even with the China, we can spend a whole season talking about. Okay, even with the fentanyl thing, who's the number one exporter of fentanyl in the world?
China.
So why not? If the plan is, if we've been a bully for arguably 100 years, you don't think that these other countries now want to team up and then bully us? Just like when LeBron went and did the Heatles thing, now everybody else wants to team up and make their own big three. So if they supply the Taliban and then Russia, and then we talked about the Bitcoin thing, like, and then intellectually, China's superior, hands down. They began tracking the performance of their kids at 4. Anyone who's been to China, Japan, you already know they are light years ahead of us. And then if they also play dirty and then begin to increase the addiction rate, they're attacking from every angle. I'm telling you, I'm bringing you guys exclusive stuff. Please don't wait until Auntie Oprah picks the show up and then like, I remember when they used to do this on Zoom and Ian used to mess the Zoom up. Auntie Oprah, call us. So I'm just telling you, we're giving you exclusives ahead of time before everyone else is dropping them, and best interest on the planet too. So,
and you want to absolutely, you want to run down a couple of these good investments or not, real quick? You want to go for it?
Yeah, I mean,
because I want to talk about one of them. Can we talk about one of them? Yeah. So is it Fubo TV? Fubo TV?
Fubo TV.
Yeah. Interesting stock, man. Interesting stock. And here's the reason why. And I was like, yeah, let's just get this off, right? And so what they're attempting to do is monumental. And so I want everybody to picture in their mind. Obviously, live streaming is something that we're familiar with. Online gambling is something that we're familiar with. I want you to envision in your mind those two things coming together. And so now you're not going to your phone to do it. You're not going to the sports bookie to do it. You're actually doing it while you're sitting on your couch using your remote. And so that's what they're attempting to do right now. And in fact, 2 states already have approved them to do it, Arizona and Iowa. But that's a game changer, right? Like, can you imagine what that does to the sports gaming industry and what it does for streaming, especially when you have live sports that you're watching and you can just gamble on from your TV? This is like,
that's tough. Yeah, it's monumental. They have an uphill battle. They had a hell of a spike last year. I only like it at the price of like 1056 or 1380. But if you can build a base around there in 4 or 5 years, it takes off. The 50%, well, 61% range is like 4173. If you get in at 1056 and get out at 4173, it's a nice home run. Anything above 41, I would definitely not buy. So 41, 48, definitely not 62. I wouldn't touch. But if they can get a couple of good partners behind them, and in 5 or 6 years, because some companies are losing revenue, and they're going to have to partner with a company like this at some point to offset revenue. DraftKings, if the bigger they become, is going to lead to other players like them filling in the second and third spots. Just keep your eye on it. Keep your eye on it. It's an up and comer.
Yeah.
You want to go to questions?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, let's go to questions. YouTube, don't forget to like. Shout out to 5,000 people want to check in. Janet.
Jan's got a plan.
Hey guys, how's it going? Hi Ian.
Good, how are you?
Good. All right, let's do it. So Dante Davis, unmute yourself. We're coming to you.
Damn, he at the fridge?
I'm sorry, brother.
Come on, bro.
All right, let's go to Jonathan Reynolds.
All right, now. Uh-oh, there you go. John, what's up?
What's going on?
Y'all, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you
Yes,
perfect.
brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. I just want to say real quick, I appreciate everything y'all doing, man.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
But yeah, I just had a quick question. Yeah, I have 2 kids. My son about to turn 1 next week, and my daughter, she's about to be 3 in a couple months. I was thinking of looking into opening up custodial accounts for both of them. I figured that would be a better way than in the 529, because I figured I had more flexibility with that one versus like, having to use it for college fund. Like I haven't used it, the 529 funds only for college. So I was thinking about investing. I was looking at what stocks I wanted to go ahead and invest in for that, right? So I was looking into SPY and QQQ, and my plan then too was going to go ahead and like try to look at like adding to those positions as it drops below the 20 EMA, because I noticed that both of those tend to really respect that position versus just straight up dollar cost averaging every month. I kind of want to know what your thoughts on that kind of strategy.
We have an amazing advisor here, but if I can tell you, if your son's going to be 1, because Xander's birthday is coming up in February, I would just make sure that it's automated, that a certain amount goes in. My guy posted this the other day and I reposted it, but if you put 2,100 in for your kids and never touch it again, they'll clear $1 million on their own. The 20 EMA is great, but sometimes it can get close to it and not touch it. The best thing you can do is literally just buy every month, make it the first bill. And by the time your child is 7, their college will be paid for and grad school. So sometimes as traders, we get so caught up in the indicators and talking, because we all want that high and that dopamine hit to hit a home run. Investing and money making should be really boring, that it's so streamlined that you almost don't even have to think about it. Because sometimes I waited for it to touch a 100 EMA or 72 and it did not touch that place or get filled. The automation is the most important thing about it. And this is what I've done for my son, and the boy, okay. When I say the boy got his own money, the boy got his own money. So, yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that.
No problem.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for the question.
All right, let's try Dante again. I think I clicked the wrong name. That might have been an issue.
Oh, he wasn't at the fridge.
Unmute yourself, please, Dante. We're coming to you. Oh, he's on.
And yeah,
Dante, how are you?
One thing to keep in mind with the 529 is that you can use it for other things besides just college, like any form of education. So private school, prep school. So they changed that law a few years ago. Trump, when he was in office, changed that law where it used to just be for college, but now you can actually use it for any education, high school. So that's something to keep in mind for parents. What's going on, brother?
Dante, what's up, man?
What's good, fellas? First of all,
we thought you went to the fridge, man, but you here.
No, I was right here. Janet got it under control. So, no, I just first, before I ask this question, I want to say I've been watching y'all since Trapper came on. I thought it was revolutionary when he was speaking about being in prison, learning about investing in stocks. I also called Ian when he was in the preacher suit.
Hey.
And, I just want to say you fellas have done something awesome for the community and the culture, and I appreciate you, brother.
Funny. Thank you, brother. You made my night. That made me laugh for real. And let the Lord say, go ahead.
The preacher suit and the director's chair.
Oh yeah, he official. It's all good. But my question is, with inflation being transitory, COVID variants, supply chain issues, and a lack of labor force, how do you think industrials and consumer staples would do on the back end of this year? In particular, Nike.
Good question.
Good question. You guys want to take it first?
Nike.
Yeah, I mean, I'm invested in consumer staples, and so it'll be interesting, man, because Nike did well inside of the pandemic. Why? They had a strong online presence, unlike some of these other brands. And so when we saw them at 99, and I was like, listen, this is a place we need to get in because of their strong online presence. Their app game is ridiculous, even though nobody ever gets any sneakers on the app. They sold more and saw their revenue go up because of it. Like you said, outside of Apple, one of the strongest brands. And so Nike's one of those strong ones that, if you're in it, stay in it. But yeah, I'm heavy in consumer staples right now. And so
is one of these things that is wording. Josh Brown, we gotta get him back on. When he was like,
my guy.
The wording on a lot of these ETFs and sectors is is interesting. Because to me, Nike is a consumer discretionary, not consumer staple. Consumer staple, food, drugs, beverages, tobacco, basic household products. So it's interesting.
That's what I meant. I meant consumer discretionary. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
So XOY.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Consumer discretionary. Because I mean, for some people, it's a staple. Like Troy.
For culture, it is.
Yeah. No, it's a staple, bro. Trust me.
Yeah. Consumer discretionary. Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Ian,
there's nothing to worry about with Nike. If you go back to 2002, Nike was at $4.82.
Oh my God.
2012, it was at $35. And then when Kaepernick did the ad and everyone was like, yo,
it's over.
Kaepernick's going to tear about. No, I was telling you guys to buy then. There are certain companies you don't have to worry about. Nike's one of them. Usually if you look in any sector, look at the top 5, they've been there for a long time. Management has been great. Probably, you can argue, probably the 3rd or 4th best brand of all time. Like, some of this is so common sense, it almost feels like it's too good to be true. But I'll go back to inception. The lowest it was at $5.21. Every Black parent, Latino parent, grandparent has bought Nikes for their kids. That's why I say you should have more shares, triple the amount of shares than you actually do pair Jordans. Because if you're not making money from the brands that you are buying, you're a fiend for consumerism. Nike would be a-okay. They have virtually no competition. That'll be great.
And you said consumer discretionary, so obviously Amazon is the largest allocation. And all of the FANG stocks, Ian, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but year to date, they probably had the lowest percentage of growth, right? Probably I think it was like 4, somewhere, I know it was maybe 14%. And so obviously there's some room to grow for Amazon. Obviously, everyone knows that I'm huge on Amazon.
They had an amazing 2020 though.
Yeah, the 2020 was crazy. And so, Amazon's always going to be innovative. We spoke about that plenty of times. So Tesla, the number 2 allocation inside of that ETF, had a hefty pullback. But we're long-term on Tesla as well. So I wouldn't worry about the consumer discretionaries.
XLY.
Yeah, XLY
has not been doing as well.
Relative, right? Like if you're up 120%, like compared to some of your
but
other
if you listen to Tech 2 Index, that's all you need. Like when you have the indexes or broad-based ETFs, you have exposed. Like the thing that I'm trying to drive home tonight, I want you guys to stop trying to be intellectual scientists, and I want you to be wealth scientists, and also if we are doing this show in 2 years and the average person is not up $150,000, I failed you. Execute all that banter. Okay, do you guys realize in 20 years, the job market from today will be cut by 80%? It's 45 years until China will take us over. And the number one thing we focus on as a community is spilling tea. There's no value in gossip. Who got us to gossip so much and not execute? It was not our community. Execute. There's no value in the virality that people are telling you to chase. I'm begging you to execute. That's it. The top companies that have been great. Apple's been great. Nike's been great. Like if you don't like Reebok, not as good. Adidas is solid. Like Home Depot, Lowe's, Costco, AMD. Sprint is terrible. Like this, it's a simple equation, but just go execute. Just go execute. You guys don't know where Jordan got the patent leather from for the 11s. But here you come to invest in like, well, I need to know about everything. Like when did Kathy Woods go to 7th grade and come up with buy the damn stocks?
Or you don't even know what you don't even know what you're eating.
Yep. Have no clue.
You eating McDonald's hamburgers who knows what they put in those things. And it's like you taking your risk with that, but then as investing, it's like you want to
somebody
because you don't want to actually execute.
Yeah, Shotty.
That's real. Pink slime and fake food.
Yeah.
And
we pick and choose what we want to examine.
That's a fact.
The convenience. Nobody really wants to look at this McDonald's situation.
You guys have no clue what's in the Moderna vaccine and been like, well, you didn't get the vaccine. I'm like, I told you about Moderna. You don't think okay. Good stock, not putting it in my body.
He ain't about to get Zoom cut off.
Yeah, you about to get us.
Come on, the CDC listening. Like, damn.
You about to get us kicked off YouTube. Next question.
Next question, please.
Please.
Well, you get us kicked out of here.
Evan Campbell.
Mike, edit that out. Don't put that in the clips. Please.
What's going on, fellas?
They're gonna sneak an ad in there just because.
What's going on, bro?
Devin, what's going on, man?
Man, all is well, man. Bless. So I have a question. So if you have a buy and hold strategy, does it matter if you purchase a stock too high? If so, should I apply a sell stop to have downside protection?
Man, okay. Welcome to the Hard Truth, co-executive produced by Troy and Rashad. If you are well capitalized, you shouldn't have a sell stop if you're in a non-volatile stock. Because what used to happen with me, let's say I put it at 15%, 20%, it'll clip me because I'm trying to protect my account, and then I miss out on 290%.
On the other side, yeah.
Yeah, like if you're in something volatile like TQQQ or something like that, or TVIX back in the day, maybe. But if you're in a quality company, you should look to add to. Now, can you buy too high? Yes, absolutely. If you have one in mind, I can tell you what too high is. Over a 5 or 10 year period, great. But it sucks when you have a great company and you bought it too high and it may take you 2 years or 18 months to get back to break even when you could have been up 25%.
Well,
so yes,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like for example, I got in at 118 with Apple. However, throughout time, I added more to the position. So it brought up my average cost. Yeah. So I mean, I have a pretty solid portfolio. I have VOO, Disney, Facebook, and Apple. I believe in all of those companies in a long
118 is an amazing entry.
That's
though.
A great number.
Yeah. I mean, like if you look the bottom of it was 116.35 in April.
Yeah. So
you're a master investor. Like what? Man, you good.
Yeah.
What?
So yeah.
If you wish you got in that 118, please put 118 in chat. That's a legendary. No, you're doing great.
Appreciate you.
That's a great number.
Yeah, and every 5 years, Apple, do the homework, should range from 401% to like 513.2% over 5 years anyway. So yeah, you're good. But if your average price is like 150 or 149, I'll be like, that's tough. But 118 is great. And if Apple ever gets back down to 117.50, that's the area to load the boat, but 124.78 is the highest price I would get in for the long term. Write that down.
Don't somebody gonna ask, where's I into Apple at? Right there. I don't even want to say. I got some Apple shares. I got quite a few. Yeah, I got quite a few at a really good price. Yeah. Prior to all this, I think my average is like 101, something like that. Yeah, Janet, don't tell anybody. Shout out to Apple, company.
Job well done.
Yeah. That's.
Have you ever woke up and been worried about Apple?
Never.
Or you wake up with that beautiful smile, you know. Never.
Yeah, no, that's my kid's account, and so I told you 1,000 shares, $100. That's the goal, and so we're working toward that. I'm almost there.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Devin.
Let's get one more question if we can.
All right, yeah. All right, Dara, we are coming to you. Unmute yourself, please.
How's it going? How's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
Yeah, we
how
hear
are
you.
Hey, I just want to say thank you guys so much. I was homeless 2 years ago, and then I started listening to Market Mondays, and now I'm back on my feet again.
Wow.
So shooting is very, very important. You guys, they're not lying about that.
Wow, congratulations,
I'm
man.
honored that.
Have we met before?
Yeah,
In
we
Cali,
met.
right?
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
In
Yeah,
LA, I
so-
remember.
Out at the LA event. Yep.
That's a fact.
Yep.
Shout out to Melrose.
That was a vibe. LA was a vibe.
So I have another question for all you guys. So I was looking into the fire strategy,
Mhm.
and I was wondering on you guys' thoughts utilizing the fire strategy with amazing companies.
Oh, tell everyone what the fire strategy is, and then I'll dive in.
Financial independence, retire early.
Mhm. The only thing I would say, if you're looking to retire early, begin planning now what you're going to do with that free time. As a person who has achieved financial freedom, what they do not tell you is if you don't have friends, family that are able to be there with you, you'll be bored out of your mind. You're almost putting yourself in solitary confinement. And it's a very lonely feeling to be financially free and nobody to share it with.
Mm.
Now, I know some people are going to be like, oh, that's rich talk. I was broke as hell at one, like broke. Then you think money will fix everything, right? Then you get the money and be like, it's not what I thought it was. Begin planning today how you're going to spend your time. And most importantly for me, and you see me doing through action, is how are you going to help? That gives you the greatest joy. Like to hear to you say what you said, it makes all the other BS worth it.
Right.
So
And it's like, yeah, the one of this. So it's like something we talked about before, just to kind of package it up, is focus on a few companies. This is what Ryan Leslie was saying. This is really a hedge fund approach, where focus on a few companies, not a lot. And if you're going to trade, only do a few trades, not a lot.
10 max.
And pile in as much money as you possibly can into those long-term investments on an ongoing basis, on a monthly basis, ideally. And then, do the other portion of your investment portfolio into those trades, but focus more on the laser focused.
Yep.
And that's really, the goal to achieve financial freedom over the course of time. Obviously, you got to have revenue to be able to invest. So that's why we always talk about business as well. As far as if you watch during your leisure, we talk about so many different businesses that you can create.
Yeah, right now I do. I work as a pest control technician, and I I do that on the side, a little side work.
What's that? No, you don't do it on the side. You do it in addition to your other revenue streams. What's the name of your company? Because I want you guys to stop saying side hustle. Because even if you take 50% of that money and put it into quality companies, in 3 or 4 years, you're already tied in with fire. So you already know what the potential is.
Mm-hmm.
In 5 or 6 years, you can be at the goal that you want to be at and be on autopilot. But please tell people what your company is.
So with the pest control industry, you can't really, say because I don't have the license, but I just do it,
What city are you in?
Long Beach, California.
Summertime.
Put it in the Zoom. Put it in the Zoom.
Put it in the
Put it
Zoom.
in there, man.
Put in the Zoom chat.
Shout out to the LBC.
People might be interested in that. But yeah, so if you have 2 Tech, 2 Index, SPY, QQQ, Apple, Microsoft, that's just hypothetical portfolio that somebody could kind of mirror after. Put as much money as you possibly can in every single month into those, divided by 4, 25% of your portfolio into each one of those 4. If you're into trading, you put a portion into, some trades, maybe one trade a month or two trades a month, nothing too crazy. Yeah. And just keep piling money into that. And over the course of time, you'll have
you guys will get rich. Trading has considerable risk. Please consult your advisor. 4 long-term investments, 6 swing trades, 10 intraday trades is what I talked about in InvestFast. Just follow the blueprint. You guys don't have to do anything. We've figured out the entire blueprint for you and gave it to you.
Got the blueprint. You just got to follow it. Rule number 1, real people don't gossip. Rule number 2, on EYL, you got to watch it.
Hey.
Shout out to Jay.
I see you the 20-year fab and 20-year blueprint.
Shout out
Got
to
you
Jay.
inspired.
Oh, shout out to my boy Fabulous.
20 years.
20-year anniversary of his first album. And he
Fab
posted on
underrated.
Instagram the Invest Fest pictures. He posted himself holding up the EYL jersey, did the hashtag. He actually had a really dope caption, which was your price isn't too high. That's just not your customer. Hashtag InvestFest. So
thank you, John. I'm gonna raise these prices. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you dealing.
Shout out to Fab, man.
Yeah, and we would be remiss if we did not acknowledge today, 25 years ago, we lost the great Tupac Shakur, September 13th, 1996. I'll never forget the day, the time, or the moment. So rest in peace to Pac. His legacy obviously lives on through all the work that we do, for sure, and all the work that a lot of us do out here. We from that generation. And we would also be remiss if we did not acknowledge probably the most influential hip-hop artist, second to Jay, of our lives, and that is Nasir Jones. Tomorrow is his birthday. He will be turning 48, so shout out to Nas. The seat is waiting for you, NAS. The seat is waiting for you.
Join Queensbridge Ventures whole squad.
Yeah, I mean, Queensbridge Ventures, we could have a whole conversation. So shout out to Nas. Tomorrow's his birthday. Shout out to Swiss. Yesterday was his birthday.
Happy birthday to
Swiss and the whole team.
Happy birthday to Swiss. Happy birthday to Nas. Rest in peace to Tupac. Rest in peace to everybody that was in the towers or on the plane in 9/11. That was a couple of days ago. That was the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So yeah, those are definitely moments in history for sure.
Yeah, and our thoughts and prayers go to anybody that was affected by Ida. People are still trying to clean up from the effects of that, and so our thoughts and prayers go to everybody who's been affected. If there's any way we can help, you just let us know. And I want to just take a moment to recognize it is National Suicide Prevention Month. And so I want people to make sure, I know we say it every episode, but actually really do it, apply it, reach out to somebody. Like I said, you never know what one conversation can do to the trajectory of somebody's life. So go through your phone, go through your contacts. So you haven't spoken to in a while, and just reach out, check in on people, because again, we need each other. And Ian, you brought up something very, very important. You said, like, even at this level, you fight for the freedom until you've done it, and now you're the only one who has the freedom. And so it can become very lonely in that space. And so please check on everybody. Money is not the end all be all. And so please do us that favor, and do yourselves that favor as well.
And everybody's going through something. I'm going to cut you off, regardless if you're rich, poor, good relationship, bad relationship. Like the depressive state from COVID is not over. I don't know one person who isn't going through something. Please call and check on your people. Please.
Yeah, very, very important. Very, very important. On a lighter note, shout out to Benny the Butcher. I was listening to Burden of Proof, and that album is very underrated. It's actually it's actually an excellent body of work, and I was extremely impressed. I actually reached out to him a few weeks ago. I told him I really was a big fan of his music. He told me he appreciated it. But I really like what Griselda has going on. And I like their merch situation. Shout out to Westside Gun.
Brilliant.
Conway. Yeah. Benny, I really like Benny. He's a very nostalgic artist. That nostalgic New York feel from the 90s. So I wanted to just throw that out there because I was listening to his album all day today, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I don't enjoy a lot of music these days. Yeah. So for me to say that, it really means something. And shout out to AZ, my favorite of all time.
That's your favorite? Yeah, Do or Die. So yeah, Do or Die for it.
Do or Die 2 drop.
Yeah, part 2 drop
on Friday. So shout out to Sosa. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little hip hop
moment.
Conversation.
Yeah. Griselda is a classic example of staying in your lane and not changing styles. Like a lot of times people end up missing their moment because they're trying to copy somebody else. And when that style was not the most popular, they stayed with it. And when lyrics kind of got watered down, they filled the gap. A lot of times I tell you guys, like, some of the best lessons that you can get come from music. I know some of you guys ask, like, why do we cover rap? And some of the best lessons in business building you will get from music. Like, if you go look with how Suge built Death Row, made a lot of mistakes, but arguably at one point in time, Suge had one of the biggest brands in the history of music in his possession.
Undeniable.
You have to learn and use all these, lessons from Nipsey and Tupac and, Dre to your advantage. So I'll say that. Can I give out a book recommendation based on the kind of conversation we had on Zoom the other day?
Oh yeah, come on, let's do it
real quick. Book from Jason Calacanis on angel investing. It's a great book. So for those of you that are interested in investing in the angel space, it's a good book to read.
Called Angel. Called Angel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And real quick, shout out to our brother King Arthur, a regular contributor to Market Money. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, my brother. Yeah, man, we keep you in our thoughts, and we actually spoke. So hold your head. And again, our thoughts and prayers from Earn Your Leisure, and of course,
I gotta reach out. I didn't even know.
Yeah. All right, man. Another Market Mondays.
Another glorious Market Mondays. Janet, do you have anything that you want to say?
Tell Rashad break the internet, Janet.
Come
on, I like when you get spicy, man. Come on.
Yeah, what's the rundown for the week, Jan?
All right, let me pull it up one moment.
We can't. Not yet. We have to.
Trip. We're going.
I ain't mad at it. Cardi B will be on next week. No, I'm joking. Cardi.
Congratulations to her on her second child, though. That's a fact.
What's the name of the child?
I don't know. I ain't hear the name.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat tell us what the name is.
I'm sure it's something dope.
All right. So tomorrow at 6:30, we have the Real Estate Club's general body meetings. And then Wednesday, we have Building Wealth with Books by Ash Cash. We also have the Parenting Lounge meeting, I believe at 7 on Wednesday. So look out for that. I'll send the link out. Thursday, we have the Liddy Committee, and they'll be discussing InvestFest. Friday, we have EYL Junior Finance B and Dance Battle for kids ages 8 to 13. So if you have a kid in that age range, please join. Saturday, we have Financial Planning with Rashad. And then Sunday, we have the Financial Wellness Club meeting at 2 p.m.
It's a whole community.
And we have orientation next Monday at 6.
Orientation. That's Jan's out of Planstown.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget Detroit, Michigan.
Yes.
We will be out there. The whole gang, the whole Market Mondays gang will be out there next Friday. Not this Friday.
Next one.
Next Friday, we are doing a networking party. So come out. If you haven't been to one of our networking parties, you're in for a treat. It's a new way to socialize. It's a whole social experiment.
It's a lot of gyms too, and it's lovely too. It feels like how when church is good, that kind of love and bonding amongst the community.
You was in Atlanta. You was in Atlanta with us. That was crazy.
Yeah.
He couldn't move.
Yeah, he was in Atlanta with us.
I think New York might have been more people. It was packed. Like New York was different.
Yeah, New York was crazy.
New York outside. So that was a shout out to Jimmy. That was crazy. But yeah, I mean, we've been doing all these things for a while. Houston, Atlanta. You know, that's where I met Wall Street Trapper at one of our networking events in Houston. So yes, Detroit, Michigan.
Pull up.
You have requested our presence, and we will be in your city. Shout out to Chill. Shout out to all of the guys out there. Shout out to Ken. Shout out to Jay.
The whole team. Got
some surprises.
Yeah. So this episode of Market Mondays, before we go, is brought to you by Ally Financial. Ally is an option if you're looking to bank or invest. Ally Financial is the leading digital financial service company with passionate customer service and innovative financial solutions. They are relentlessly focused on doing it right and being a trusted financial service provider to both customers and communities. Get with Ally to make the most of your money so you can save, invest, and spend on things that matter to you. Shout out to the team at Ally. Hopefully, they will open up their doors for us because we're staying like around the block from them, I think, or somewhere in the vicinity.
You never disclose your location.
I'll never know. Somewhere in the vicinity. We had to drive. I know it was like an Uber drive.
We're staying in Ann Arbor.
This guy's crazy.
I would that too. Yeah. Y'all two index. No stress. Let's go.
Yes.
Yo, it's been real, y'all. Tune into the episode tomorrow with my boy Bobby Wagner, officially my new favorite player in the NFL. Incredible dude. And so I hope y'all tune in and grab some real information from him. Yo, can I tell you how Sally is? Like, he'll just text me, right? Like, he'll text me and Rashad. I shouldn't just say me, but he'll text the both of us. Like, yo, how y'all doing, man? Everything good with y'all? And I'm like, yo, bro, aren't you in training camp? Like,
the relationship. Can you talk about that real quick? Like,
yo, relationships are worth so much more than money. I need people to really understand that relationships are worth so much more than money, and that's something that like we've encountered and really have lived by. The people that you see that we actually have the opportunity to sit down with and discuss their businesses, you'll see them again. It's not like these one-offs, like you'll never see the person again. Anytime we make a phone call for somebody to come help us out or do something with, it's always like, yeah, I love you guys. I love connecting with you guys. Let's do it. What y'all doing is so important. And that we can't pay for that. Like some things you can't, there's no awards for that. And so, man, just a super solid guy. And a lot of people, I mean, pretty much everybody that we've met is solid. And we have those relationships. We've never tarnished or damaged any of our relationships. And we're very proud of that. So again, tomorrow, check it out. Bobby Wagner, my guy.
Before we wrap up, what's one big lesson that you took away from the episode as a teaser for tomorrow?
Well, just him breaking down the contract of how, when we think, or at least, for me, you think of a sports contract and you're thinking like the basic, you got a signing bonus, you got, you're thinking different things, but he was breaking it down to like, if you play 70% of the games and like, if you're on a roster, like, but not on, like, it's so intricate as far as like the NFL specifically, the NFL is so many different moving parts. So he was just explaining, and this is why a lot of guys play hurt. Because it's like they got to play at least 70% of the downs in order to reach the contract guarantees. So him explaining how the NFL contract works, and because the interview is really like a two-part interview. It's an interview of a player, but it's also the interview of an agent because he's his own agent, and he's not just smart. He has a $54 million contract, so it's not like he just has like a $100,000 contract. Like he negotiated one of the highest contracts for his position in NFL history. So it's a very intricate conversation with an NFL agent and also a Hall of Fame player at the same time. So that to me was just dope to hear his mind, because he's looking at it from both sides of the coin. He's having a conversation. He knows exactly what needs to be in the contract because he's a player. So he's like, you can't tell me that this isn't like good because I know that I'm not going to be able to play 70% of the downs. I know that I'm going to be off at least one game. So he's looking at it from a whole different standpoint than even an agent can, because he's played in the league for over 9 years. Yeah.
And I think the most impressive thing, and one of the things I thought was really dope, is we had this conversation about Andreessen Horowitz. And I'd be surprised to see how many football players actually know who they are, or athletes at all. And so the role that they played in his investment strategy, it was like, oh, wow. Like, nah, this guy's different. Like, this guy's really different. And his team, shout out to Tony, his team of people that he grew up with.
Yeah,
we can appreciate that.
Shout out to Humble.
Yeah. Humble just had a whole article in the Washington Post. It was dope.
Yeah, Humble's a good dude. Yeah. He's a financial advisor to a lot of NFL players, Charlemagne, a bunch of actors. He's real big in LA. Yeah. And
no one cares about your money as much as you do. I know athletes sometimes get criticized for trying to negotiate their own deals, but no one cares about your money the way that you do.
Y'all play too much. Play too much. They said that her daughter's name is Culture too.
Culture too?
Y'all gotta stop. It ain't Culture. That's an album.
That's hard. That would be hard though. George Foreman named his kid George. He names 8 kids George.
Is it really though?
Culture too. Why not? TWO, like Derek Grace. Yes, we appreciate y'all, and don't worry, Toronto, Canada. We have something. We coming to Toronto, so just sit tight for that one.
Yeah. Toronto's gonna be
we sliding through Brampton and all that too. We just doing it like
running through the 6.
Running through the whole 6. You gotta remember, I spent a lot of time. I was in
Kitchener.
Canada.
We'd be out there. Hey,
I was in Canada way before Drake got it popping. Shout out to the 6 guard, but King Street, Queen Street, the whole Brampton. Yo,
man.
Toronto, there. Canada, probably my favorite place on earth. We'll talk about that later on. But
it's like a baby New York.
It's a clean New York.
Yeah.
With way better demographic.
How you gonna clean this one? Well, way better what?
Demographic.
Good job, well done. What that media training. Boy.
Shout out to Canada, man.
My man got the whole Black Effect media training kit. Boy, you're Euro.
Shout out to them. Shout out to the team.
Shout out to Black Effect. Boy, you've been Euro stepping all the night.
Oh, it was
a couple of booby traps for you to release the info early. You ain't doing it. Okay, I'll see you.
Oh man, but I'll
try, y'all. He ain't telling.
We love you guys, man. We see you guys next week, man. Take care and be good, man. Stay safe out here.
Safety first, y'all. Peace. Love is love.